John Cena's last appearance on Monday Night Raw in Boston takes place this evening, November the 10th at the time of recording, and plans seem to have been revealed across the internet, bodyslam.net with the scoop. It looks like a big match for Big Match John will be taking place on Raw this evening. And any predictions, NXT, before I share with you?
I mean, at this rate, it's probably going to be Gunter, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but ideally, I'd love it to be Open Femi. I don't know what's been leaked, so this is going to be all new to me when you say it.
Planned for Raw tonight, allegedly, is John Cena versus Dominik Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship on his last appearance in Boston.
Do you know what? It makes sense because they've just run a thing on YouTube as well showing like Dominik Mysterio's Intercontinental run as champion. So they've probably done it to themselves and just leaked it and given it away that he's going to probably lose that title and Cena's going to be a Grand Slam champion tonight.
And obviously, what better place to do so than Boston, Massachusetts, where he's from as well? That would be massive. And even if he was then, he could defend the title in Madison Square Garden next week if he was to win it tonight, and perhaps maybe Survivor Series, and perhaps even going into his last match.
Yeah, well, that's if it happens at Saturday night's main event. I still think he's going to Mania. That's me personally. I don't see why the biggest star of all time goes out in a random December. Like, he should be going out on the grandest stage. So it'll be fun, man. I mean, look, he's earned that right to be a Grand Slam champion. I just hope he does it, man. Honestly, like, he's one of the few people that you can turn around and sit and go, he genuinely deserves it. Like, he's done everything apart from that.
I kind of agree with you at this stage of the game. I want to see John Cena win the Intercontinental Championship. And I just feel like that Dirty Dominik Mysterio would be fine without it. And if we're just going to play into it quickly of a way that could help this, they started building Dominik versus Rey Mysterio this past week on last week's Raw. Obviously, as well, with Dominik with a great line as well, with like all the famous luchadors, you know, and Eddie Guerrero's name was mentioned. Don't you mention my dad? And yes, I'm better than him. Fantastic stuff. Probably building towards Survivor Series for those two. It's going to be in San Diego after Raw, of course. And you can do that. Dominik could lose this title here because he's a double champion. And the story with Rey and Dominik really is about who is the greatest in Lucha Libre. So their match could be for the AAA Mega Championship instead.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not against it. I just think that, like I said, Dom's had a great run as IC champion. So I'm not even against him losing the title. Just the problem they have to worry about is obviously Dom is really starting to become a big fan favorite, and obviously being in Boston is probably the saving grace of why they can change his title tonight. And then, yeah, that AAA championship, Survivor Series probably, or I don't know, maybe an up and coming AAA show that's probably going to be streamed for free on YouTube like they normally do. I mean, I'd even suggest them pushing it to Mania. I think the idea of Dom versus Rey at Mania with that AAA title on the line is not only good for AAA in general because it's their biggest championship, but obviously you look at Rey as one of the greatest luchadors of all time against his son. It's a match that we've wanted to see for the last couple of years, and I think if you put gold on it, that's not really like of any significance to WWE. It's not going to harm anyone, so I think it's the best way to go.
Absolutely. So if we do get John Cena versus Dominik Mysterio for the IC title tonight, prediction time, is John Cena walking away as the IC champion?
Yeah, I can't. I know it's WWE and they always like to have the hometown hero lose, but I think like after this year, I think it'd be really stupid for him to lose in his hometown.
I kind of agree with that as well. I think John Cena is walking away tonight, Intercontinental Champion from Monday Night Raw. He doesn't need to win another world title before he walks out. I think the IC title is the way to go. And yeah, if it does happen, amazing stuff indeed. I always thought that this was going to be Cena versus Carmelo Hayes tonight. I just had a feeling with Carmelo being from Boston. I know he's a SmackDown guy, but you can always have the Miz come out, interrupt things, and say he's the one with the legacy and history versus Cena, and then Carmelo sort of takes the spot instead. But look, I think it's going to be a better direction. Dom Mysterio, it's a match I want to see. And if they're going to do Dom versus Rey at Survivor Series, then why not pull the trigger, do this match here? And of course, yes, John Cena can become the Grand Slam champion tonight. And yeah, Boston is John Cena's town. It's the place to do it. Even though they've got MSG next week, Boston's the place to do it. Tino's town. Tina's time in the house. Tina, thank you for joining us. Hope you're keeping well, my friend. Big John Cena fan as well. Tino, do you think John Cena will be winning the IC title tonight? Let us know in the comments below. And it's Q&A time format as well. I've got lots of questions for NXT. We've gone very impromptu of doing this one, but let us know if you've got any questions. You can dive in and get your shout out here on this video. Just like Kicking It with Leo, another fantastic YouTuber. Leo, thank you for joining us. I'm scared WWE won't give Liv the Rumble victory because I feel they're going to give it to Rhea or Bianca, but I hope that's not the case and Liv gets her moment and the Rumble. She deserves it. I think it comes down to when Liv Morgan's going to basically return really at this particular time because, I mean, Liv Morgan, of course, she's been injured on the show for quite a while now. But obviously, you know, so is Bianca Belair and Rhea's currently got a broken nose. So there is a case of doing all these surprise returns at the Rumble, but at the same time, I don't know. I have the same feeling of Leo as well. We've just done a pre-recorded video for our WrestleMania match card predicted very, very early. And I will say I didn't go with Liv Morgan to win the Royal Rumble for the first time this year.
I think I'm going with Liv to win it. I think she's, like, again, it's that case of she's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And I think if anyone deserves to win the Rumble this year, it's Liv Morgan, if she's obviously fit enough to return.
I certainly would love to see her have that moment. Like you say, she certainly deserves it, and she will get a massive response when she does return. The question is, though, is she going to return before the Rumble, at the Rumble, after the Rumble? We're not going to know at this particular time, but it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. But spoiler alert, Leo, I feel your fear. My early prediction is Bianca Belair to win the Royal Rumble at this particular moment. I think we're getting Bianca versus Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 42 for the Women's Championship. Hello, it's me. Is in the house. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for your comment there. Hope you're well. If you have any wrestling questions, feel free to get involved with us today. We're going to talk things John Cena a little bit further while we wait for some of your personal questions to come in. Obviously, the Last Time Is Now tournament is kicking off tonight on Raw as well. We've got the likes of Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura taking place, and also Damian Priest is in action as well against Rusev. How do you see those two matches playing out?
Priest is probably ultimately going to end up being costed by Black, so I'm going to see Rusev's going to go through that one. What did you say the other one was?
Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sheamus.
Oh, Sheamus probably, because of the whole IC title thing. I would have guessed. Again, just another person who hasn't won the IC title. Sheamus versus John Cena for his final match in December for the IC title is a possibility.
And do you know what? I'd be really down for it, actually, if the concept is with the IC title. And do you know what's a really fun fact? John Cena's last match is on December the 13th this year. In 2009, Sheamus won his first WWE Championship from John Cena on December the 13th at TLC, of course, in a tables match. Weird, interesting, fun facts. Don't ask how and why I know that. Yeah, I'm going to agree. I think Sheamus is going to pick up the victory in that match. I'm going to go for Damian Priest, though, to beat Rusev. Rusev is eating a lot of pins in WWE, and we can't keep having everyone that John Cena's faced before winning matches. I think we need to feel like we're going to get a fresh opponent somewhere, but it's going to be interesting to see how and what way they're going to go about it. But we have two more matches announced for SmackDown as well at the time of recording, so let's talk about those as well. We've got The Miz versus Jey Uso taking place this upcoming week on SmackDown. Are we feeling that main event Jey's going to get one step closer to John Cena's last match?
Feels like Rusev versus Priest again. I feel like The Miz is going to end up. The Carmelo Hayes is going to end up costing The Miz that spot as well, and I think it's just an easy win for Jey to get through. These picks really feel so lackluster. Like, honestly, like. The fact that they stole our idea, by the way, that we predicted that they should have been doing this all year long, and they've now decided to do it with like 3 appearances left to go, 4 appearances left to go, is a bit of a bump. But yeah, I just feel really lackluster with these picks. Sorry.
Well, the last one we've got is interesting. LA Knight versus, well, Nick Aldis didn't want to reveal who it was. I'm going to save this as a surprise, which leads to Wildfire. Who is LA Knight going to face this week on SmackDown in the John Cena The Last Time Is Now tournament? I mean, many are speculating this could be a call-up of Obafemi, a return for Gunther. Kevin Owens could be someone that could return. Perhaps maybe we could see the likes of Chris Jericho come back in and break down the walls and come into WWE once again.
I mean... Again, the only one that really makes sense is Obafemi. You want to put over that big star. Gunther doesn't need a win over John Cena. Kevin Owens doesn't need a win over John Cena. Jericho doesn't need a win over John. Yeah, they all have history, sure. But what have we complained about all year? John Cena's not faced any new opponents, really. Like Dominik Mysterio, he was going to be, one of his first new opponents with 4 appearances left to go. It's just very lackluster. If it isn't Obafemi, if it is Gunther, I think I'm just going to be genuinely disappointed.
I honestly don't think it's going to be any of them. And I know that a lot of the people probably want the idea of Edge to be the person. I don't think it's going to be Edge either, obviously, with his commitments with AEW. I felt that it was something very interesting that Nick Aldis did when he was going through the Tumblr and announcing the names. And he went to announce the name and he wouldn't say his name. He kept it as a surprise. Yeah. There's my clue. Because he's not said his name, I think because he appears, Joe Hendry would have appeared on the spot on SmackDown. He wants to keep this one for this upcoming Friday in SmackDown. I think we get LA Knight versus Joe Hendry on SmackDown.
Do you know what? I'm not against it because I think LA Knight still has a chance to win. I think Joe Hendry is one of the few opponents that LA Knight, he could lose, and it wouldn't phase Joe Hendry losing. The fact that Joe Hendry's on SmackDown is probably the biggest deal. He doesn't need to win it, so a lot of people are obviously a bit stuck up about LA Knight losing the match because if you put him against a Gunther or an Obafemi, you're kind of expecting these people to win. I genuinely am excited if it is Joe Hendry. I think it's a moment, but I think there's an opportunity just to let LA Knight progress further in this tournament.
Certainly indeed. I'm going to predict though that it'll be Joe Hendry, and I think Joe Hendry will be beating LA Knight, and I think he'll go further into the tournament.
I mean, we said, I can't even remember when we said it. We talked about Joe Hendry versus John Cena if they'd have ever done it on a TNA card, because the rub TNA would have got from having John Cena on a match card against Joe Hendry would have just been fantastic, especially when Joe was TNA heavyweight champion. Would have just been magical. And sure, I'll take it. Like, I still think it's out of all the people they've announced, Joe Hendry is the right person to pick.
I think so. I think it's the logical one that could happen as well as someone that doesn't work in the company that they've speculated the idea of. I mean, you can always, yes, okay, we can have fun and have Mr. Iguana pop up in there, but you're not really going to get more than the pop that he comes through the curtain. So Joe Hendry's someone legitimate. He wrestled on WrestleMania against Randy Orton, so you could actually make something of this, and it could be quite interesting. So I'm going to go for Joe Hendry to do so, and I think he will beat LA Knight. I think he'll be the shock of SmackDown this upcoming week.
Yeah, I mean, even having Joe win, I think is an opportunity for them to turn LA Knight heel as well. Just have him, he's still going to be over with the crowd, but he needs something now because SmackDown is lacking a lot of top heels. And I think LA Knight as a heel for the main event scene is a lot better.
I think it works at the moment. I mean, LA Knight's done so well since going to Monday Night Raw, but I actually feel like there is a big gap in SmackDown right now, especially now Drew McIntyre's been suspended. He's obviously going to be taking some time away, doing some filming duties. So, I mean, Cody needs an opponent, and he needs some heels as well. It felt like Aleister Black was the top heel on SmackDown outside of Drew McIntyre at this particular time. It does feel like it's a bit bare in the main event scene right now.
Aleister Black's the top heel, and he's just about barely beating Damian Priest, so it doesn't bode well for that title picture at the minute.
No, they need some fresh blood. Raw seems to have all the star power, it feels, at this particular time.
Just to mention as well, just one thing about SmackDown I noticed, what very lackluster for promos. Jade come out, has a 30-second promo, and I'm like, okay, that really done a lot. And then I think it was Cody that had a promo as well, and it's just very crap. Like, honestly, really short, really brash. Didn't do a lot to build anything. Like I said, I think Aleister Black and Zelina probably had the best promo of the night. And again, I've just said the guy's only just about beating Damian Priest. Why am I going to believe this guy has a realistic chance of beating Cody Rhodes?
It was real for the week on SmackDown this past week. Like, it was an all right show. Nothing wrong with the show, but I just think it was like you say, it didn't really feel a lot of build to Survivor Series. I think Raw has got a lot of the Survivor Series build going into it this year at this particular moment. So it'll be interesting to see what they do moving forward. But let's dive into some comments because we have quite a few of them come through. Eric Douglas with a couple of them, but we'll come back to his second one in a couple of moments. We've talked a lot about Liv and the Royal Rumble. Leo obviously losing faith that she may not win it. Eric says you need to have the faith. Leo goes on to say, my only thing is I don't know if Saudi will give Bianca a massive response. If anything, I can see some backlash knowing Saudi has their favourites, and I don't want to see Bianca win it again. I think Bianca's had good responses when she's been in Saudi, but I know that Liv obviously has had some history winning the Crown Jewel Championship, and I think that's what Leo's potentially going with there.
I think honestly, the women's rumble is going to suffer massively in Saudi. Like 30 women, head to toe in those specific wrestling gear because of obviously the country, which is fine. I get that, but I just think it's really going to suffer. Like it's probably going to be one of the shortest rumbles in history. I can see it happening.
Yeah, I feel that as well. I feel that it could be the shortest. I hopefully not as short as Blooming 95. That is a bloody. People say it's a great rumble. It's the worst rumble ever. It's like 1 minute per entrant. It was painful to watch. I hope they never redo that. But Leo goes on to say he's got a few comments here, so let's throw them in together. He says, after Charlotte won the second time this year and Bianca won Chamber last year, I want something different. I think we can all agree it's good to see something different. It says Bianca needs to face adversity. I feel like Liv doesn't, if Liv doesn't win, I will fear she'll never be in the conversation amongst women's wrestlers who are top stars because she can't win the big one like others. And she'll always be a step below people like Bianca, Rhea, Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, Io, and Asuka. All these women have got singles matches at Mania, while Liv is stuck doing filler tag matches. Fair comment. Very fair comment. First off, I want to see something different. Secondly, I get your point with Bianca. You could argue she's facing adversity right now to just get medically cleared. She's got this really strange hand injury that's kept her out since WrestleMania. So she's been on the shelf for a while. But I mean, when you do look at a lot of these names, I don't mean to be rude, but WWE does put Liv below quite a few of these names. And let's not forget, we've got the emerging people of like Stephanie Vaquer that's creeping up the card, becoming a big star. Roxanne Perez is someone that's there. AJ Lee is back in town as well. You know, you've been gone for a long time, and WWE has women to fill the spaces. That I mean, the women's roster right now is as stacked as it's ever been. There's never been such a talented time in women's wrestling where if this had been 5-10 years ago with the Liv Morgan we see now, that Liv Morgan tops the card.
Yeah. Again, this goes back to the whole being the bridesmaid, never the bride thing. Liv has always been someone they almost can fall back on whenever top stars have been out or like they've just needed someone to be champion, and it feels like they just never give her the reins to take the lead and just be that top female star. It's always been a case of, well, Liv, you can be champion while we wait for Ronda Rousey to come back or Becky Lynch or whoever like is going to take that championship off of you, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, whatever. So yeah, I'm all for Liv being that top star. It's just the women's division is like throughout WWE, NXT, Raw, SmackDown. It's so stacked and it's so hard to get your place and get your piece of that pie that like Liv should be a headliner. I don't understand why they just don't do it. She has fantastic character work. She has great in-ring work. She like her character work alone should be one of the reasons why she's one of the top stars.
Yeah, I totally understand. And look, for me, I still believe Liv Morgan will have her moment, will have that big singles match at WrestleMania. I think she'll have a singles match at next year's WrestleMania, regardless whether it's for a title or not.
Yeah.
We're going to keep that one close to our chest, though. Like we said, we've done our Mania card predictions. It's dropping later in the week. Liv Morgan is featured in it. But at the same time, I do feel that, you know, she will have probably one of these times. And her coming back is going to be a big deal when she does return because people are going to remember where she was and she will fit in. And it'll be up to her at that point on the return if she can carry that momentum to last a lengthy period where WWE will be forced to put her in those top positions. I think that's sort of what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think the other problem as well is that I don't really want to say it out loud, but I just don't think WWE care about what the fans want anymore. And Liv's going to get that pop when she comes back because everyone wants Liv. Everyone's wanted Liv. This was exactly the same as when we wanted Becky to be that top star, and it took Nia Jax breaking her nose to like WWE sit and go, oh, okay, maybe we can let Becky take the reins. Liv's had the exact same response Becky Lynch has had the whole time, but they just don't want to push her as a top star. They don't want her to be. She doesn't fit the Charlotte Flair category of being a multi-time world champion. And look, it feels very Vince McMahon, like, you know how Vince used to be, like, you had to be 6'7", you had to be 275 pounds, you needed to have the body of a Greek god to even attempt to make it in this business. And like, the times changed drastically, but it just feels like we're going exactly the same way with certain superstars. LA Knight is another one in the men's division. The guy has all the characteristics of the world. He's not the greatest in ring, sure, but I'm not being funny. Neither was Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Stone Cold Steve Austin is one of the biggest stars of all time. And a lot of people compare him to Austin, and I just don't understand why they don't pull the trigger with these people and give the fan service that the fans want. Like, is it a case of you're going to make WrestleMania predictable every year by giving the fan service only at WrestleMania, and we have to suffer for the other 363 days of the year?
Yeah, I understand that entirely. I mean, it's interesting because there's a topic that you touched on there about not giving the fans what they want anymore, and it made me think of what Mark Shapiro said recently in an interview. I forget who it was with, but it was along the lines of that WWE titles, like their shows are getting stale, almost they need redoing kind of thing, and it's like that's
Yeah.
what they're all Vince McMahon ideas. So this is why we came with WrestlePalooza, the first ESPN show in September, and that was a real success, a real marketing branding thing moving forward, and it'd be probably one of the big franchises for WWE. It's good they see it as that, because a lot of people didn't come away from WrestlePalooza with the highest opinion of it. But at the same time, what do you feel when you hear things like that? Do you sit and think to yourself, well, actually, I'm okay with WWE freshening up the calendar, or do you feel that maybe we're going to get a renamed Royal Rumble in a couple of years' time, which you funnily suggested offline for me?
30-1, I think they were. I think it was the name I
It
suggested where they were
was.
going to rename it. The WWE has been built on its 4 sort of pay-per-views throughout at least 4 like main event pay-per-views, which is obviously Rumble, Mania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam. I think they'd be so stupid to change them, because it's their bread and butter. Like, this company was built off of those 4, those 4 shows. Like, obviously they started with WrestleMania, then they added SummerSlam and Survivor, then Royal Rumble. Do you know what I mean? And for years it would just be them 4. Then yes, they started doing the In Your House series, and in the In Your House series they did like sort of separate them. They gave more like names and stuff. I don't mind the B-list pay-per-views being renamed. That's fine. I don't personally like Hell in a Cell. I think Hell in a Cell is you're building a pay-per-view up for one match, really. Like, the rest of the card is none of, like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything else. Whereas, like, when he changed Extreme Rules and actually made it an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, I don't mind it when they do stuff like that. But if you want to sit there and, like, imagine how bad the network, like how bad WWE, like the Netflix catalog on WWE would be, because they keep changing the names of pay-per-views every 5 minutes. Oh, let me go through the history of like WrestlePalooza, or let me go through the history of Starcade, or do you know what I mean? Like they just make it for some reason harder on themselves. Like, what does it matter if you change the name? Your company's built on these names. Who cares whether you change them or not? What? Just to prove a point? You're already making more money than the company's ever made. You're already charging people astronomically through the backside to attend your shows. Like 50, 60, 70 grand to sit first, second row of WrestleMania is a joke in itself. And they've proven that they don't care. So I don't get why you want to essentially erase your history. Your
Mm.
company is built on pro wrestling, and like, pro wrestling is like, it goes back hundreds of years. It goes back to like, do you know what I mean? It goes back to like Greek mythology, where they used to do this kind of stuff. And I don't understand why you. It's like, I don't know. It's like anything. Why change anything if it's broken? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, what? So you can put your own trademark name on it. Like, you've already proven this year, you've tried to put another company out of business, and you've got no standing to do it. That's something you should have done 6 years ago. It just feels like really petty stuff. And like, what? Just an excuse to. I'll tell you what. I can actually tell you why they want to do it, because they want a reason to make specifically branded products for people to buy. Oh, you want to go to, I don't know, Star Bash 2027. Oh, here's a Star Bash 2027 exclusive WWE Championship that you're only going to be able to get at this pay-per-view, and charge people $1,400 to buy a championship title that you're never going to see again, because it would be exactly the same as the greatest Royal Rumble. You know, that Royal Rumble championship, Braun Strowman one. Did we ever see that again? Nope. That's probably sitting in some dusty unit somewhere doing nothing, collecting. That's all it is. They want an excuse to brand stuff just to make money. That's all it is. They're like, and it's just been. This year has not been the year for WWE. Like I said this to you on another stream that you can go back to January and having Jay winning the Rumble. That was the point where everyone checked out and went, look, Jay winning is fantastic. Do I believe he can legitimately be Gunter? No. And it just went downhill from there. You then get onto John Cena's heel turn, The Rock coming back for whatever it was, Chamber or Elimination Chamber. And everyone loved that and thought, oh yeah, this could be really, really good. And nothing. It's gone so downhill for them this year. And like you said, Mark Shapiro saying that the product has become so stale and so boring. It is. Like, look, we've literally just sat there and talked about the build for this John Cena's final match. Look who's in it. Rusev, Sheamus. Who? What? You telling me both of those are going to win and we're going to get Rusev versus Sheamus again? I'm sorry, have we not just had like 17 weeks of those two fighting each other? What is the appeal of watching Rusev versus Sheamus again to fight John Cena? Someone they faced hundreds of times before. Who cares, man? They just don't. It's pure lazy business model 101. How can I charge fans through the backside for overpriced novelty crap, essentially? I sit there and I say that I've got an Adam Cole figure sitting on my microphone in front of me. And it's like, I've got a CM Punk t-shirt on. And I'm like, yeah, man, they're outpricing everyone. It doesn't feel like WWE anymore. We've come off this boom period of 2019. I'm really waffling now. We've come off this boom period of 2019 where wrestling was its hottest it's probably ever been. Like, you'd have to go back to like the early 90s when it was at that peak. And I'll argue in 2019 it was bigger than the 90s because you had people like Kenny Omega changing the wrestling landscape, bringing New Japan to so many more people's eyes, having these killer 5-star matches. And that's it. They just don't care anymore. It's just all about making money. They do not care about the product. They do not care about the storylines. All they want to know is how much money they can put in their pockets.
Yeah, it's not much I can argue with that. Really,
I waffled so much there.
There's a lot of compelling arguments in amongst it, though. Look, the thing is, ultimately, TKO is all about making the money. They want to make things that are their branded, their vision, and all about them. They want to have their sort of takeover WWE complete. But I don't think we'll ever lose names like WrestleMania. I just don't think it's going to happen. No. Yeah, the B shows may change and stuff like that, but I think Triple H as well will keep his, I think there'll be at least 6 of the shows, like King of the Ring or Night of Champions probably stick around. Money in the Bank probably sticks around outside of the big 4, and then I think after that, you might get the new branded shows that come in. But again, there's still shows that have been done before. WrestlePalooza was an ECW name. It's not as if it's brand new. It's still borrowed from somewhere else. It's just it wasn't a Vince McMahon creation. It was a Paul Heyman creation.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Like I said, it's just going to be a way to brand stuff differently, and it's going to be a way to make every show unique. Like, obviously, with B-list pay-per-views now going around the world, and they do less house shows, and they make the product harder for you to go and watch because they do so many fewer shows than what they used to now, which is why they can charge through the backside for them. Because you imagine when they were doing 7 or 8 house shows a week, whatever they were doing, $30, $40, $50 a ticket to go and watch it wasn't that bad. I mean, I know someone who went to one of the shows recently, and compared to the last time they went, ticket prices are doubled. It's a house show. It was one of them like the tour of WrestleMania or whatever it was. It's double the price ticket for a house show where nothing significant happens, and you're expecting people with kids, like 2-3 kids. You're charging $120 a ticket. That's $360. You then add on your ticket, which is another. That's nearly $500 that you're spending on tickets to go and watch a wrestling show for 2 hours. I don't get it, man. We pay for Netflix. Sure, it's a $10 a month, whatever it is. Like, I'm glad that I get all those TV series and those movies as well, because the TV product that WWE's putting out isn't the greatest. The pay-per-views, I've said it before, I do not like Saturday Night's Main Event. I think they're just a glorified reason to make money. And it's even other little bits like putting sponsors on ladders and tables. You are, There's a film I'm trying to think of that done exactly the same thing, where they just basically wanted an excuse to put someone's name on something, and you take away from it. And I mean, you can even go back to certain matches like the Bray Wyatt LA Knight Mountain Dew match. So, although aesthetically really good, like looked really cool, but it's a sponsored match. And I generally hate sponsored matches on pay-per-views. Like when you used to get one every pay-per-view, that was your toilet break match, because it was like, no one cares about this. It's a sponsored match. When you had like giant sticks of oh god, what's the beef jerky thing that Macho Man used to promote?
Slim Jim.
Whatever it was, Slim Jims. Yeah, when you got a giant Slim Jim walking around the ring while you're trying to watch a wrestling match, like, what is this product, man? Why? Like, I can see why people go to AEW, because the wrestling is just it's better. It's like if you could take like the size of WWE but the wrestling of AEW, you'd have something so good. And just unfortunately, AEW don't have the facility to get as big as WWE, and WWE just don't want to put on the quality that AEW puts on. It baffles me, man. Because if you had a really good wrestling product, guess what? More people would watch it.
Yeah, true story. True story.
I'm waffling so much.
No, you're good, man. But we'll get back to the comments in a meantime, because quite a few are flying in for us. And we've got some new people joining us as well. But Leo here says, I think that we could take a Daniel Bryan approach with Bianca not winning the Rumble, have Liv win the Rumble, and Bianca challenges for the title at Chamber, because Jade defends in the Chamber like Randy. I'm guessing going with 2014 with Daniel Bryan stuff that was being mentioned there. But the thing that I just feel is that Liv isn't an underdog, really. At the same time, I think she could still be just presented as the top star coming back. The second she's presented as an underdog, she'll become the underdog again, if that makes sense. And then there's excuse to put her back as the bridesmaid again. But Byron, this is my question here with Bianca Belair: is what has Bianca done to win a second Royal Rumble? Not a lot. Not a lot recently. She's been out injured since WrestleMania, but this is the thing. Like, if Liv has not got the same, it's the same thing. She's on the shelf. Like, there's nothing there to say that either of these two should win the Royal Rumble at the moment. But at the moment, if you,
it's a moment. Like, you imagine she comes out number 30 or whatever and wins the Rumble. Yeah. It's a moment.
Absolutely. And the thing is, if we're being honest, there's a comment that's made later on here from Leo, which I like. This comment: Liv versus Stephanie makes sense. It's fresh, it's exciting. People saying Liv and Dom versus Liv and Roxanne. We can stop putting in tag matches when it comes to Mania. I mean, Roxanne is the story that they're doing. Sorry,
just to add to this comment quickly, we've just done our WrestleMania predictions video. I've missed a match.
Yeah.
Here you go. Look, here's one for you. My WrestleMania card prediction is Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer at WrestleMania 42 for the World Heavyweight Championship. That was one of my matches, and I completely left it off. I can't believe it, because I had Liv winning the Rumble. Such an idiot.
I'll crop this and put it there. Don't worry, it'll get in. They'll just see the graphic, and that's it. That's all they need to see. They don't need to see it's a different stream. But on all serious note, though, it's a fresh match and stuff, and I see about there. But Liv and Roxanne, there's a story there, and why Bianca, by the way, to win the second Rumble, because Jade's the champion. There's a story there. It's actually technically would have been building for a year had Bianca remained fit. It probably would be building for 2 years. So there's a story there to work with, and that's why it can work. It's not everyone's first choice, of course not, but it's something that can work. CD's in the house. Thank you for joining us, CD. Says different type of stream. We're trying something different out here today. I'm not sure how people are watching it. StreamYard has offered an opportunity of landscape and portrait, so I'm assuming you're watching in portrait. That's all I can assume from this moment. But fun if that's the scenario. Come and check it out and let us know.
On my phone, it's normal, so I don't know. So I don't know how it's coming up on other people's devices. It's the normal same stream for me.
Well, the fun part is that when I see some of the comments, for example, I've seen Leo's comments. He doesn't have a phone next to him, but CD has a phone next to his comments, which makes me think he is watching this on his phone as the portrait.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. My phone is coming up exactly the same. I don't know how it works.
It'll be
I
interesting.
don't
It's
know.
fun. It's something different. We're trying something different. If it works for everyone, then we'll keep doing it. If it doesn't, we'll just keep the normal landscape way. We don't mind. But into the main nitty gritty of it, obviously we touched on it at the start of the video, but I think CD's got the gist of what the match is revealed. Does John Cena become the Grand Slam champion tonight? 3, 2, 1. Yeah. We think John Cena is winning the Intercontinental champion tonight on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I think he is. I just think it's earned more than anything.
Absolutely indeed. If you enjoyed the video so far, by the way, hit the like button, share with a friend, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be here for a little while longer taking your questions on all things pro wrestling. 1 or 2 questions I want to throw NXT's way as well while we are here. CD says, remember when Fatal 4-Way was a pay-per-view? We do indeed. We reviewed it when we brought the Retro Series back and taken like a 2-year hiatus. Myself and Nick Steve, the first show we reviewed was Fatal 4-Way from 2010. So that's actually on the archives now to go and check out if you haven't seen it. Do you remember that show?
If they did I do. I remember. I'd be impressed if they ever did a Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view, but that didn't have a Fatal 4-Way match on it.
That just seems that's false advertising.
WWE would do. It's just something WWE would do, though.
It sounds like our last retro review where a match was built around a power bomb and then neither man hit it. Sid versus Vader from Buried Alive in Your House. That video needs some love, by the way. Of all the retros we've ever done, if there's one video, please go and give some love to, is Buried Alive in Your House. I don't know what went wrong there. Maybe this was the wrong choice for Halloween, but hey, if you can, give it some love to that video, please. Leo says she had been in the company for over a decade and never won at a Mania or even had a singles match at Mania and never challenged for a title, while Rhea, Charlotte, Asuka, Io, Bianca all get multiple chances of opportunities. Let's freshen up. Leo, we're not arguing with you, mate. We are happy to see it. But at the same time, what we want to see and what WWE might do, we'll always talk about what we think WWE will do as well. But look, Liv might win the Rumble. I think she's in the top 2 or 3 names to win it next year.
I hope she does.
I hope she does. I think it'd be quite fun if that was to be the way.
Just for fun, actually. Sorry, just a quick one. I've got a list here of like old WWE pay-per-view names, and it's got here. So just to quickly run through them: Armageddon, Backlash, Bad Blood, Battleground, Clash of Champions, Crown Jewel, Deadline, Elimination Chamber, Extreme Rules, Fastlane, Halloween Havoc, Heatwave, Hell in a Cell, In Your House, Insurrection, Judgment Day, King of the Ring, Money in the Bank, New Year's Evil, New Year's Revolution, Night of Champions, No Mercy, No Way Out, NXT TakeOver, One Night Stand, Payback, Rebellion, Roadblock, Royal Rumble, Saturday Night's Main Event, Spring Break-In, Stand and Deliver, Starcade, SummerSlam, Super Showdown, Survivor Series, Tables, Ladders and Chairs, Taboo Tuesday, Cyber Sunday, Great American Bash, Tribute to the Troops, Unforgiven, Vengeance, Worlds Collide, WrestleMania, and, well, it says Hall of Fame, but that's not really a pay-per-view.
What one would you bring back of all them? That was a lot of shows in a very short space of time. If you could bring one back, what one would you bring?
I mean, which one sounds the coolest, I suppose, is more than any. It's probably the most interesting thing out of all of them. Personally, I think Halloween Havoc is one that needs to come back as a mainstay. I know NXT does it, but I think, I don't know. Obviously, I presume like it maybe aesthetically needs to be a bit more spooky bollocks when it comes to Halloween Havoc. But look, New Year's Evil is probably a good shout because look, you needed something for December. New Year's Evil, New Year's Eve, it kind of is the one that fits. Everything else kind of is a bit meh. Like, Rebellion's not really that great. Look, honestly, we've had this discussion before. I'd have brought Starcade back, and that should be NXT's version of WrestleMania.
I actually agree with that. Starcade is the one I want to see come back. But if just so I don't copy your answer, always like Fully Loaded back in the day. Just was a personal favorite of mine. See, this says I don't think we get any of the big 4 events changed, but renaming B-level pay-per-view shows that's been happening for years. Believes Backlash will go away.
Yeah, maybe, but I think Backlash is kind of a mainstay after WrestleMania now. But again, they'll probably change it. I'll tell you the actual correct answer is the one they should bring back because of the generation and the world that we live in. It's Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday. They're the ones that need to come back. They are the perfect ones to bring back.
Absolutely. Just because then they can blame us for everything that we moan about that they do.
Yeah, unless they don't give us the options that we want and then we just dislike it instead of actually voting for a good choice.
Wouldn't you love that? What do you mean you don't want Jey Uso back in for a world title match?
But do you know what I mean? You can poll. Look, it's all about social media interactions. Put a poll on X. Put a poll on the community page on YouTube. What's that going to do? It's going to drive people to your channel because it's going to drive traffic and it's going to promote your stuff because of social engagement. But I'm just a nobody that talks about wrestling. But yeah, it makes the most sense in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Leo making more case here for pulling the trigger that it should be Liv Morgan and not Rhea Ripley and not Bianca Belair. So fair play to that, Leo.
Liv's like a 3-time runner-up, isn't she?
Pretty much at this point, yeah. She's definitely twice runner-up. And she's close to being longest in the Rumble as well, but they keep breaking that record every year, so it's hard to keep track of that.
She is I don't care what anyone says, just because she was eliminated second to last with Rhea Ripley and they were 1 and 2. I'm sorry, the match started at the same time and it ended at the same time. That's a joint record. It's so much crap, that.
It is so much crap, to be fair. You're bang on with that one there. Eric says as well that Liv needs to put away Roxanne and Raquel before going after a title. What if Raquel has a title? Raquel going for the strap tonight against Stephanie Vaquer? Prediction?
Well, I say that Raquel should win. I very much doubt Raquel's got enough, I don't know, just backing at the minute to even be in a title scene. Why she's getting the match is a bit weird for me.
She got the victory over Nikki Bella, I believe, last Monday on Raw. So yeah, I think that's the reason. Before we get the heel turn from Nikki Bella on Stephanie Vaquer, which I think could happen quite swiftly after Vaquer puts away Raquel this evening, potentially. Eric wants to see Rhea versus Stephanie, and it should be at Mania. You might like my WrestleMania match card there. I'm not going to say anything more. Leo says, when are we going to see the dream matches, like Liv versus Asuka, Liv versus Stephanie, Liv versus Pink? There's a host of names here. What is a match you want to see Liv have right now, if you could pick one?
Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie Vaquer is the hottest thing in wrestling. Like, she's had the breakout year. Stephanie Vaquer deserves to have, Liv Morgan deserves to be in that scene with Stephanie Vaquer, and I think that the wrestling they could have would be great, and the match would be great.
There you are. For me, it's Roxanne Perez. It just makes the most sense in the story, and it gets Dominik in a bit more of a sticky situation. But that's always good TV, isn't it? So yeah, that's the one that makes the most sense for me. C Nation Dog says, do you think the Hardys are going to WWE because their contracts in TNA expire this month? Interesting.
No, I think if they were going to go to WWE, they'd have kept them NXT tag team titles on them a little bit longer than a week.
Do you know what? I agree with that comment, because I was tempted to say yes, but then maybe they could go to Raw or SmackDown and they could do kind of what the Motor City Machine Guns are doing, which is kind of trying to bed in the new tag teams of the future.
Nothing. The tag team division is dead on Raw and SmackDown at the minute. Motor City Machine Guns doing nothing of any significance. What, you're going to bring the Hardys back to take someone else's spot away when you've already got people like the Street Profits that aren't doing as much as they should be? When you've got Fraxium on there, the best tag team of last year, not doing anything, and you want to bring the Hardys back. It's a moment. It's a Hall of Fame entry for next year.
That would be enough for me to make it say yes. But I think a telling tale will be if they drop those TNA tag team titles at Turning Point. If they do drop them, then I would say there's a chance they're out the door.
Who is it that keeps wanting them to lose those tag team titles to? I forget
AJ Francis and Rich Swann. It's our very own C Nation Dog. So very own CD.
CD. There we go. Yeah, CD's dream.
I actually have a question for CD. Can you put this in? I'm trying to find out the Turning Point match card. It's not anywhere. And I feel like I'm seeing it's Fight Night coming back for Turning Point. Can you confirm that for me? So I've been out the loop for TNA for a few weeks now. So I'd like to know, is it Fight Night coming for Turning Point especially, or just Google not giving me a good old match card? Byron says, Bianca Belair matches are not competitive enough for her warrant winning a championship.
It says Turning Point is the next one on November 14th.
Yeah, just can't find any matches on there for whatever reason. Okay. Don't know what's going on there. CD says he's late, but you're not late at all, CD. He says, for some reason, there are 2 streams and they're on the exact same one. So, yeah, maybe they actually are in 2 different areas, maybe on YouTube, and people can pick and choose what they want to do, which is quite interesting.
I bet you one is in the shorts link. Do you know what I mean? Like, how the shorts work on YouTube. I bet one of them's in there.
Probably it's where it is. And if so, that's kind of fun. Again, people, you can tell me if you like it or if you don't like it, if it's confusing or you want us to stick to a regular format. Maybe some people prefer as well that we're in a TikTok, style format of the shape of the screen. It might work out better. Maybe it's also a platform we should be looking at more. I don't know. Just let us know what you feel. Eric says, time for Cena to beat another young talent. To be fair, he's been beating mostly older talents this year. The only young talent he's beat this year at this point is Logan Paul.
Yeah, and what's that? Do you know what I mean? Logan Paul doesn't exactly win a lot until he wins a world heavyweight title, which will be at some point next year, I presume.
Absolutely. Rebellion says it was a TNA Premium Live event. Eric, you've not done anything wrong. I've skipped your comments. I've brought most of them up, but I do realise though there was one comment you wanted me to talk about. And I said we're going to come to it, and I never did. So I'm going to apologise for that because I didn't bring that one up. So that might be the one you're referring to. So let's just quickly find that quickly. He's referring. Here we are. So I don't know if you want to talk about this. We don't might not have enough information about this, but I know a little bit about what he's talking about. How did Tony find replacement enhancement talent that quickly? So I believe Eric is talking about AEW Collision, and I believe he's talking about formerly Tegan Knox, I believe Nixon Newell, and her tag team partner refused apparently to lose to TJ in the tag team match. Obviously, they're building up for the women's tag team titles in AEW, and apparently they left the building. And another enhancement talent was put in very quickly. My assumption would be that there is always enhancement talent extras, that work security and all sorts of things. All of these wrestling shows, they have always built in numbers and people ready to take spots if needed. So I imagine that's what Tony Khan did. And obviously the fact that he knew he couldn't rely on those two who walked out the door, immediately put in another two people and said, here, this is your opportunity, network TV, get yourself out there and you can get yourself some exposure and you can lose to TJ, which I'm sure whoever did come out did and probably did a reasonable job in doing so. It's not professional to walk out of a show, really.
Yeah, I mean, I get when the Nixon and Newell and her tag team partner are coming from. 3 minutes isn't exactly the greatest amount of time, but I'm pretty sure that they said Nixon Newell has been struggling for bookings. 3 minutes on Collision, it's not the greatest, but it's a booking at least, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, it's. I don't know. The thing is, I never watched Collision. I've struggled to keep up with Dynamite really in 2025, but I found a way to be up to date at the moment. So there will be some blood and guts predictions coming out before Wednesday. That's my job tomorrow for you. So I'm looking to get a short out for that one for you. Eric, keeping the love for you, my friend. I hate to feel that you feel that some comments have been missed, so I'll make sure to get your next questions in. Says, do you think Dominik Mysterio will stay true to Liv Morgan? As much as I love young love, I got a funny feeling the name Dirty's in the name for Dominik for a reason. I think he might do the dirty on Liv.
Hey, he might just be a very unclean person. There's nothing to say that he's going to go behind Liv's back, but no, I'll be honest with you, I think they've just dropped the story completely at the minute. They just seem to know nothing to it, really. Like, we get maybe a backstage segment with the Judgment Day recently. I just feel like it's dead in the water, the story.
Yeah, I mean, Liv hasn't been mentioned for a while. I think it's like here and there they do, but they're dropping teasers with Roxanne trying to get a word in with Dominik each and every week, and it's a very slow thing because obviously we don't know how long Liv is out for, but say she's out for another couple of months. Let's say it's Royal Rumble. We're playing along. It's Royal Rumble. You've got to keep the ball moving slowly because if you burst too much out too soon, then you've done this big story thing. You have to wait 2 months for the payoff, and fans will forget and not be interested in the build for that payoff. So they're trying to slowly build it, but I think that look, CM Punk said it's a shower thing. I'm not here to speculate. I don't know what the dirty stands for, but I imagine with what he did to Rhea Ripley to go with Liv Morgan, I would say that means he's possibly likely to do that to Liv Morgan to go to Roxanne Perez. So yeah, that's my early feelings with that.
Dom will do whatever Dom needs to do to get over.
Absolutely, indeed. Even if that means getting help that's not in the Judgment Day, which of course El Grande Americano and co have been there by his side. Byron says Jey Uso is forced. Yeah, I mean, the yeet is
Yeah.
pretty. I mean, I'm getting a bit bored of the yeet. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think I was ever a fan of it, if I'm honest, mate.
I was
I think
right with it.
it's something. They were drunk. It's a chant that's come around because they were drunk on a post press conference show. How underwhelming is that?
I mean, most of my best moments have been created when drunk, probably. So I'm down for it.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to complain with it. CD says NXT is spitting facts. It is a joint record, but why does WWE not recognize it as a joint record?
Talking about Liv Morgan and the Rumble, exactly. Yeah, the match ends as soon as she's eliminated. It's the same time. Don't give me that 1 second difference.
Maybe there is a split second though from like hitting the floor and the motion of hitting the bell. No.
This is exactly like when they wanted to break Santino's record for the quickest elimination in the Rumble, and it was like they tried to do it in the Women's Rumble, and I don't know if it worked or not. It's just why? Just leave it with Santino. Santino is someone who deserves a record for the quickest elimination.
Absolutely, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Eric Douglas says Liv versus Blake Monroe would be a great dream match for me. That would be a good dream match. Yeah, great shout. Blake needs some time in NXT though before we can get that one. Yeah. Kicking with Leo, I need Javon Evans to become NXT champion. Leo, I'm not going to lie to you. Javon Evans is quickly becoming one of my favorite people to watch on WBT every week. I look out for what he's doing more than about, I'd say, 75% of the main roster.
Yeah, I'm still pissed that they did that weird finish for him versus Leon Slater.
Yeah, me too. They need to run it back. But got a funny feeling those two are going to be NXT tag team champions before the end of the year. So. Deadline, maybe. Could happen. CD says the Hardys can bring prestige back to the Raw tag team division, which currently only has AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, along with the Judgment Day. There is the New Day there as well, but yeah, I don't know what's Raw's tag team division.
And what is it? Is it the War Raiders? Did they rename?
Yeah, War Raiders, the Vikings. Some days War. I don't know.
Vikings Sunday.
Sorry.
Did you just call him Viking Sundays?
No.
Oh, that's my bad. Then I just misheard it. I thought you called them Viking Sundays. I was like, where's that one come from?
I mean, I was tempted to call them the Catering Raiders, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good shout. To be fair, they don't do anything but sit in catering, apparently.
Not right now, which is a shame. It is a shame. See, this says it's because TNA hasn't had tapings for a month now. That's why we don't know what's going on at Turning Point. So literally, it's like it is a turning point in TNA's history. There we go.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I think the rumor was they were supposed to be doing their tapings from the Performance Center. So I don't know.
Yeah, so they were. So Eric, who are they facing? I have no idea. No idea at all. It's weird. They've been showing old matches, and the first TNA live show will all be this week. Interesting. And all matches will be announced on Thursday. The third day, if you like Friends like I do.
So the pay-per-view will have a 3-day build for every single match.
I mean, it's not the craziest idea I've ever seen.
Yeah, true. I expected better. Like TNA has been one of the better brands this year, and this kind of seems a bit. I don't know. I'm not blaming TNA for this. I think this is a WWE thing. I think there's something they're doing. There's the reason why they've not had any TV tapings.
Possibly. Maybe the deal hasn't the ink is not dry yet on whatever TV deal they're going to get. But yeah, look, it all makes perfect sense. Of why then they haven't been doing stuff. But yeah, I'm interested in what's announced there for Turning Point, because it's usually one of their B pay-per-views, if you will. So yeah, be interesting. Let's see what goes along. CD says Jimmy also created the Yeet chant. Jay also stole it. I don't remember it.
I can't remember. I just remember Cody and Jay being drunk after winning the tag team titles.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Bennett forgot his name in WWE, but broke Santino Marella's record in the greatest Royal Rumble, but isn't a traditional Royal Rumble, so I don't think WWE counts it. Yep. I don't think they do either.
Same as that title. It's locked up in a dusty old storage container somewhere.
Absolutely. Leo says, when we think of women's wrestling, I need Liv versus Bianca soon, either at WrestleMania or SummerSlam. At this point, why not just throw it at Mania? It's definitely been a divide in this video of Liv versus Bianca. We might retitle this video at the end of it.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. But yeah, I'd say at this moment, the way that they're looking to book Mania 43 probably for that one.
Absolutely. 1 day build for TNA Turning Point because it's on a Friday. So,
oh my God.
There won't be predictions on this channel for Turning Point. It's a bit too fine.
For a laugh, you should, though.
I would love to. The problem is on Friday, my shift starts at 5:30 a.m. So the chances of me getting.
To be fair, you could do it now and just be like, I have no predictions. Just as a joke, a short video. Just like, here's the predictions for Turning Point. I don't know because there are no matches announced.
I bet so. I can guarantee CD will give some love for that. I reckon he'll give some love for that. But yeah, he's not doing them either. So there you are. It's not just us. Don Mills in the house. Don, it's been a while. Good to see you. It says Cena versus Don for the IC title tonight. That's under the rumor mill in the grapevine. We gave our feelings on that about 54 minutes ago at this particular moment, looking at the video time. But yeah,
I've waffled on for 53 of those minutes.
I've got him where I could. No, seriously, no. It's been a fun stream. We've had a good time here today. But yeah, I think that it's going to be a fun one. We've both gone for Cena to get the title. Leo says it sucks. Ash by Elegance is not champion. It's like, what is going on? Don't know what's going on with her injury or anything. She's done. She's done.
Yeah.
She's not coming back to what the understanding. I think it was Tommy Dreamer that said it on Busted Open. Not really good to just throw random names out there, but I'm pretty sure it was Tommy Dreamer. Busted Open Radio said that she's not coming back. The injury is too severe. So it really sucks. It's a shame. But if there's one positive we can take from it is that she went out as champion.
Yeah, long overdue championship as well. Let's be honest with you. Like, she's been doing such good work in general in her whole before she even left WWE, and then to get released, and then yeah, nice that she went out as champion finally. It just sucks that the other members of the Elegance brand, like, they've lost their tag team titles just as quickly as Ash lost hers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so true. Eric's thrown a question very quickly about Bianca winning in Saudi. She's won the Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia, so there's no worries with that at all. So don't worry about that. Dom says sorry for just tuning in. Never be sorry. We're thankful you're here. We're thankful if you're here for a minute, for an hour. We're just happy you're here. So no, thank you for tuning in. And CD says, why are people mad about John Cena versus Dominik Mysterio? Are people mad about this? I'm not mad about it.
People don't want Dom to lose the title is probably the biggest thing.
Do you know what the funny thing is, though? John Cena has 4 dates left. What's to say that him winning the title tonight, he doesn't drop it a week later or in 3 weeks' time at Survivor Series or in his last match? Yeah, Dom could be the person. Dom could lose the title tonight, end up in the tournament. He's not going to, but I mean, like, there could be a plan here. This might not be one and done.
John Cena, Joe Hendry winning the IC title at Saturday Night's Main Event in December. This is what I think you're saying to me.
I'm all in. I'm all in. I'll say his name if he appears. But no, I think it makes sense as well. This is a match that needs to happen before John Cena retires. The logic's there. Why wouldn't you go for the one title you haven't won? And of course, Dom will try and do everything to get out of it, but it just makes sense to do it, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Ash by Elegance, the Elegance brand is hosting a Mr. Elegance tryout, and anyone can sign up. It's free if you want to try out. Don't think I should go for it. I don't know. Just don't think I'd get very far.
I think I'm too old.
I'm too old
I
as
think
well.
I'll win it. But do you know what? That suits someone like a Matt Cardona. That would be great for Matt Cardona. He's already got such an ego on him. If you was to put him as a Mr. Elegance, I think that'd be great.
Which actually would be really fun, actually. He's always ready for anything as well, so it could work. Yeah. CD suggesting about the mystery opponent for LA Knight this upcoming Friday on SmackDown, suggesting Gunther Obafemi. Getting squashed for holding up that. Yeah, we'll see if he gets squashed or not for holding up that sign. But I do think LA Knight is losing who he faces. But I said earlier in the video who I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Joe Hendry.
Yeah, I think it's the best shout.
Nick Aldis refused to say his name. That was the interesting thing. I think it's the giveaway.
Yeah, it's true. You don't think about these logical things, and talk about we just talk about Thea Hell, by the way, absolutely knocking it out of the park as his tag team partner on NXT. I thought that was great. A lot of people get a lot of stick for it, man. Thea Hell on TV is the win out of that one, and even doing the comedy character, I just think it was great.
A NXT Gold Rush, you can see it, can't you? From Paige and Chelsea Green against Joe Hendry and Thea Hell.
Yeah, I don't
For
get
those
even
Triple A tag titles.
I never lose in those triple R mega mixed tag team champions, whatever the way they pronounce it. Oh, it's great. They're the best thing in wrestling.
I love the duo. It's working really, really well. Eric says Dom could very well win the Rumble or Chamber next year. Do you know what? Dom he's. I don't think that will happen, but he's not out of the realms of possibility of moving up into a world heavyweight title picture. Let's say in the next 6 to 12 months.
Who do you think is going to take that world heavyweight championship off of Logan Paul when he wins it? Yeah.
Oh, don't do that to me. Oh, sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Dom says Ray costs Dom to set up Ray versus Dom at Survivor Series. I think that makes logical sense. Maybe then that we can have Ray versus Dom for the Triple R Mega Championship to prove who really is the greatest in Lucha Libre and the greatest Mysterio of all time.
Yeah. I mean, I want on WrestleMania, but I can see it going down that way.
Could you see Ray's mask being on the line, and that could be him done?
No. As far from what I've read, like for the amount of years we've been wishing for a hair versus mask match, I think I saw an interview with Dom where they said Ray would never do it, and I don't think Dom does want to do it. So for as much as we'd love to see it be on the line, I mean, look, you could do it if Ray's gonna win, sure, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
I have to wait and see. I just think it'd be the perfect send off for Ray when he does hang it up. But I hope Ray's career continues at least until maybe January the 11th. I've got tickets to Copenhagen's WWE live show. Wouldn't mind. I've never seen Ray live, so I wouldn't mind seeing him before he hangs it up. C Nation says Joe Hendry squashing LA Knight would ruin LA Knight's WWE career. I don't think it'd be a squash. Squash.
Well, I don't know. A quick roll up. I don't know. It could be a. I don't. It won't be a squash match, but it could be a quick pinfall.
Maybe. I have to wait and see. But Chelsea Green got a quick pinfall against Julia on SmackDown. A lot of people were critical about that. Did you have a problem with it?
Chelsea Green is the person that should be winning with quick roll ups. The character screams that she should be winning by cheating and all this kind of stuff. I've got no problem with it. Like, let's be honest, Julia's not done anything with the United States Championship since she's won it, and Chelsea Green, that title is made for Chelsea Green at the minute. So to get it back on Julia the way they did it, perfect booking for me.
I agree. I feel like it felt like it was a fluke, and I feel that Chelsea Green can have a lot of fun with that US title. I think Julia's on for bigger, better things. To be honest, on SmackDown, I think that she's already outgrown that division. Like, I don't mean this in a horrible way, but Julia against B-Fab, Meechin, Zelina Vega. Like, these matches don't do anything for Julia. Like, we need to get like Julia versus Tiffany Stratton, which is a match that really then gets the juices flowing. Do you know what I mean?
Chelsea Green is an enhancement talent. Chelsea Green as United States champion is perfect for putting over other people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to bring up a Sol Ruka or I don't know, someone like another whoever from the NXT, like Chelsea Green is that perfect person in the US title spot to do that. Julia is such a good wrestler. She should be in the title. So she should be in the same spot Stephanie Vaquero is in right now.
Yeah, and I think she could be pushed in that way moving forward. Obviously, Stephanie Vaquero's been a mid-card champion, and she's had to drop that. She had to drop the NXT Women's Championship to JC Jane, which a lot of people thought was weird, strange decision at the time. But look at her now, 6 months later, it's not done anything bad. So even though CD may feel bad for Julia, lost in the 1 minute match, I think it'll be all right. And just to compare to someone else, 1 point lost in the 1 minute match, or it was actually 18 seconds, was Daniel Bryan at a WrestleMania. Went on to main event the bloody thing 2 years later and actually win the big one. So I don't think it's the end. I think it's just the beginning. Yeah. Will Chelsea Green rebrand the Women's United States Championship? Oh, God, I hope so.
I want a Canadian branded strap on that United States Championship. I think it will look fantastic.
I really think that I don't say they missed the trick, but by doing it in NXT and seeing how well it worked, they now have the opportunity to bring that to main roster viewers' eyes. And I think that
that's why Ethan Page won't drop that North American title. That belt is so nice with that Canadian strap on it, and I'm sure it's selling out online because it's just so good. And like, everyone loves a custom championship.
TKO, it's all about the monies. So yeah, expect a Canadian States Championship very, very soon.
I hope so. And I tell you what, even Page's new T-shirt, I'm tempted. Like, even though it's like the greatest North American ever, it's gorgeous.
Absolutely. Will Ethan Page and Chelsea Green rebrand the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championships and pull a Lance Storm by rebranding 3 different championships? Again, I bloody well hope so. Do you know what I want? Bring in Lance Storm for this story. I would freaking love that.
He's Chelsea Green's trainer originally, isn't he? I'm sure she trained at his school.
I think so. I think you're right.
Makes a hell of a lot of sense to relaunch. That'd be great.
They could do exactly what they did in WCW because they had like Jacques Rougeau, the Mountie, come in and read. They could bring in the Canadian rules match.
Yes. Yes, absolutely, 100%. That'd be great because they could just make it up as they go along.
It's for those that are thinking, what the hell are you talking about? The show is WCW. The show is called New Blood Rising. The match is Lance Storm versus Mike Awesome. Canadian rules match for the Canadian whatever it was, the United States Championship, but was the Canadian Championship. It's worth it if you're into a bit of nonsense in the match. It's a bit of fun, it's
like the Queensbury rules match, isn't it? Like it's made up. Like there's someone who has a Canadian rule book, and essentially they make the rules up as they go along. Like someone outside or an officiate has the rules for the match, and you want to win by tap out? No, sorry, this is a pinfalls only match. It's just balmy. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun. So yeah, check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, definitely love that CD. Great shout. Leo says at Mania, I think we get Bianca versus Jade, Io and Rhea versus Kabuki Warriors for the tag titles. Interesting, I like that. Becky versus AJ Lee, or AJ Lee versus Roxanne, and Liv versus Stephanie. Maybe Raquel if she wins the title tonight. So there we go. Leo is booking our women's division to perfection. It feels en route to WrestleMania.
Leo will like my WrestleMania card.
I'm wondering if he's going to like mine. There's only one way to find out, isn't there, really? There is only one way. And he also feels Finn needs to become Mr. Money in the Bank, but maybe Dom could win it next year. I feel Dominik, it's his time. It's his time.
Well, it don't look like it's going to be LA Knight anytime soon.
Well, yeah. Dom, LA Knight, Bron Breakker, they would be the ones I'd like to see. But yeah. I'm surprised Logan Paul didn't rebrand the United States title because TKO would have made a lot of money off it. Yeah, exactly. The Prime Championship. Why has that not been made?
Yeah, you'd have thought that. We said it, and you'd have thought they'd have done it, and it would have just made so much sense. But no, you apparently have to be something really special to get a custom championship belt nowadays.
Absolutely. I think Ethan Page is an ally of the Secret Service rather than being in it.
Yeah, definitely. Although I wouldn't be against them bringing in, like, I was sitting there thinking the other day, like who Chelsea Green could bring in as like an enforcer type figure, like not female but a male equivalent for Ethan Page. But I couldn't think of any off the top of my head that was like British or Canadian or just someone who wasn't American to take that spot.
Yeah, true story. We're out of questions, so we're going to wrap things up in a couple of moments, but I want a question to ask you very quick. In fact, I've got 2 questions. They're both AEW questions. First off, want to know your thoughts of them bringing in the NWA National Championship, a classic old title. Apparently, it's going to be defended in and amongst like AEW, but also other promotions as well. The ones that they work with, like CMLL, Ring of Honor. I think, probably Japan as well, and all the indies and that. So, yeah, I mean, it's another title in AEW. Do they need it?
I couldn't even tell you how many titles they have off the top of their heads. Like, obviously, you have the TNT for both sides, the World Championship for both sides. They now have tag team titles for both sides. They have the trios for the men's, and there's like 3 or 4 in the middle somewhere for like mid card men's that was like the International Championship or whatever. That's been rebranded like half a dozen times. I don't even know, mate. don't think it's needed. I think they're just personally trying to use it for the lineage and the heritage of it being the NWA Championship.
It seems to be the case, doesn't it? Look, I'm all about history and prestige. I like a bit of nostalgia, so I'm down for it for that reasoning. However, I do feel a little bit of me just feels like every time you bring a new title in, those titles that you have on your champions start to mean a little bit less because it's less prestigious the more titles there are. And when you mention their mid card titles, because that's pretty much what this is going to be, it's another mid card title. But dare I say, in a WWE term, we're going old school. It's like your European Championship. It's the lower scale of the card here. Like it's probably barely. It's going to get collision if anywhere on AEW TV. I can't see it very often on Dynamite unless it's the very start. But I'm thinking you're diluting your Carl Fletchers who are holding the TNT Championship at present.
That's it as well. The New Japan World Championship as well. I love it being on Konosuke Takeshita, I believe is how you pronounce his name. I think he's fantastic. He deserves to be there, but he is portrayed as such a mid-card wrestler for AEW that it almost feels like it's underwhelming the lineage of that championship. Like, don't get me wrong, him against Kazuchika Okada is going to be fantastic, but that should be in Japan at the Tokyo Dome. Do you know what I mean? That's that sort of match, and they're both portrayed as mid-carders for AEW at the minute.
It's madness. It really is. January 4th, that would be perfect for those. But I believe Okada is going to be Tanahashi's final opponent at Wrestle Kingdom next year. So that should be really special. They need to pull the trigger.
Like 7 times.
I don't know that, unfortunately.
Honestly, every time I hear about Tanahashi, he's retired because I'm pretty sure he's like an executive now for New Japan. But I'm sure like he's had like 74 different retirement matches over the last 18 months, from what I can imagine. Like, just every time I see it, it's this is Tanahashi's last match, and it just never is.
Fair play. You see, you mentioned there about all the mid card championships. That there's just too many to count. Yeah, far too many. Blood and Guts this upcoming week. Are you excited for a bit of Blood and Guts? It's War Games before War Games. AEW doing a bit of a dirty one. This used to be in March, then it was in the summer. Now it's been done a couple of weeks before Survivor Series. You love to see it. A bit of shade being thrown back at WWE. Keep throwing shows at the same time as AEW ones.
It will probably be a lot more exciting than War Games. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that they like to go hell and high water with Blood and Guts, and there's going to be something stupidly risky that everyone's going to wince at, and it's going to be a bigger talking factor. And I think they're right to do it because I think it is going to overshadow War Games.
I think it's going to be interesting. Like you say, must have some death-defying spots. Darby Allin's going to be in this for starters. The Conglomeration as well. The Death Riders, who are no strangers to doing, really gory stuff when it comes to these type of matches. And the women are getting a share in this as well, which is great to see as well. 6 on 6. So bringing on is what I say. I'm really excited for Blood and Guts, and feel like I've caught up with AEW at the right time. Really buzzing. Really looking forward to the show this week, and they're really doing some solid stuff right now. AEW at this particular moment. Speaking of War Games, there leads me to one last question for you. Logan Paul, of course, seems to be on side with the Vision. Is it an ally situation? Is it part of the group? What were your feelings after last week of Raw with the arguably obvious ending, but still, Logan Paul alongside for the meantime with Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman? Doesn't seem like a bad move for Logan. I just wonder if it's a good look for the Vision.
It honestly felt like they were testing the waters on Logan Paul being a babyface and seeing the reaction he got with the initial promo at the start of the show, and the fact that when I forget it was now, someone was getting their ass handed to them, Logan comes back in, and then it was almost like they're trying to judge if he's ready for that face turn. He's clearly not, and I don't mind it. I think a lot of people are more pissed at the fact this should be the Austin Theory spot. I'm not against Logan Paul being in this spot. I think it's great for Logan Paul. Austin Theory should be there, though, because Austin Theory isn't doing anything, and that's criminally, it's just, even Grayson Waller could be in this spot, because they're both just two great wrestlers not being used.
They're very hungry as well. I still think Austin Theory gets the spot. I just think it's going to be Bronson, Logan, Brock, and Theory. I'm going to eat the bait, and I think that we'll get that. And obviously, just who's going to be on the other side. But I think it's going to be Punk. I think we've got Jay potentially Jimmy, maybe LA Knight, and I don't know. I'm feeling maybe we could get Cena in more games. It could happen. Depends on what happens after tonight. Is he going to win the IC title or not? That is going to be the big question. But yeah, well, just last comment in before we really wrap it up. Leo says, I need AW to give more opportunities to Willow and Megan as single stars. Particularly Willow Nightingale for me of those two. I'm a massive fan of Willow Nightingale.
Yeah, agreed. Like Willow's had some high-profile matches as well this year, so she needs to be another one that's pushed towards that sort of an event scene for the women's wrestling in AEW.
Certainly, indeed. Any final words? Any final thoughts, NXT, before we wrap up?
No, man, go for it. It's been a long one tonight, and I'm so gutted that I've missed a match off of our WrestleMania match predictions. Obviously, someone, Leo said it, and I was like, oh my God, that was one of my matches, and I didn't actually mention it. This is what happens when you're not prepared.
There you are. There you are. To be fair, I left Logan Paul off my card, and therefore I had to give him a match at the very end of the video. So it's not a 10 out of 10 YouTube video, but I will say to you, it's definitely worth your time period. It's a 9.5. I think it's definitely a solid 9.5. The WrestleMania match cards are pretty fun.
Definitely, I agree with that.
Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button, share with a friend, subscribe as well, all that good stuff. We tried something different tonight. We've been on the portrait mode, the landscape mode. We've been coming into your phones, your living rooms, wherever you're watching in multiple different ways, and we hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit the like button, share with a friend, subscribe as well, all that good stuff. And also, if you do us a favor, vote in the community poll as well. We've got the Retro for Survivor Series options up for you right now. Survivor Series 1990, the debut of The Undertaker, the mysterious egg revealing the Gobbledygooker for those old school fans, or you can go for the end of the invasion. That's right, WWE versus the Alliance, WCW and ECW, Survivor Series 2001. Thank you all for watching. Look after yourselves and each other. Is John Cena about to become a Grand Slam champion potentially in the next couple of hours on Monday Night Raw? Seems to be the consensus amongst the wrestling community, if you believe the dirt sheets, and if you listen to myself and then Nick Steve, we think John Cena will win the big one if that match happens. Enjoy. Have a good one for Monday Night Raw. We'll see you later this week. Take care.